me loves, how we're all doing. I hope life is treating you very well. It feels strange to be back here because I've been basically filming a lot of short form content recently. Probably going to get into that a little further down this video, but I thought because I haven't posted in a while and I've just really not known what to do after I had a really important but exciting but also like kind of disappointing realization. I've just been a little bit lost recently, but anyway, we're going to talk about that all in this video. We're just going to sit down and have a little natter. I have got some questions of things that people have been asking, and we're going to talk about them questions because I feel like there's a lot of, I don't know, things floating around in questions that I just haven't really addressed. I have actually had to turn the comments off on a few videos, and I've not done that for a long time, but I just feel like it became a situation where the comments were no longer constructive criticism. They started to become bullying, and I'm just not here for that, to be completely honest. Like, I'm not going to tolerate bullying on my social media when I don't have to, and there's something that I don't have to say, I'm not going to say it. So I choose to turn the comments off, and I got DMs about it asking why. Was I just avoiding situations? And partly yes, I was avoiding situations because at the end of the day I don't have to talk about things I don't want to talk about. But secondly, I am all up for a discussion around something when I feel like it's done fairly. But when I feel like the discussion isn't done fairly and it becomes to name calling, assumptions being made about that really you just don't know the actual truth of, then that's something that I'm just not going to tolerate. And I do have the freedom and flexibility on my social media to delete and turn off things that I don't want to see, and I'm fully in my rights to do that, and I will do that where I feel like it's necessary. We're going to go straight into talking about the whole veganism thing. Now, I kind of messed up when I went on my last holiday, and to be honest with you, the thing that really annoys us about this is I feel like a lot of the people that judge us for my decisions when it comes to being a vegan are people who aren't even vegan themselves and are so cutthroat on what I do right and wrong being a vegan or plant-based, as people like to say, because apparently I can't classify myself as a vegan because of lifestyle choices, and that's totally fine. I feel like everybody has an opinion on this. And when I first decided to be plant-based and documented it online and mentioned it online, obviously I feel like I did go quite knees deep in mentioning it and, you know, talking about being plant-based and that's because I always want to raise awareness of eating plant-based and a plant-based diet and trying to do better for the animals, because I feel like we live in a society where, you know, there's so much that as humans we do that I just totally don't agree with. But that does not mean that I am the perfect person when it comes to what I can and can't do for the animals. I would hold my hand up. I have done so many things over the years that is just not right. And I never ever would class myself as the perfect vegan, because I'm absolutely not. And I made the decision to go to what I thought and what was advertised as a sanctuary when we looked on the excursions of our recent cruise. And when we got there, unfortunately, the sea lions that we did get to see were performing tricks. Now, I didn't know when we got there that they were going to be performing tricks, but I did know we were going to get in the water with the sea lions. I didn't really correlate the issue with this because I thought it was going to be done in a sanctuary environment and it was all going to be very organic. Looking back on it now, I don't think that that's how it was. I feel like, unfortunately, the sea lions had been trained to do tricks, and obviously I don't know what the training is that goes into these types of things, but I'm presuming it's maybe not great. Although I did do research on this Blue Lagoon Island encounter, and I did feel like it was somewhere as a vegan I felt okay visiting because of the fact that the animals had been rescued, and they had these really amazing stories online about the rescue of the animals. But I think now, looking back on it, I hold my hands up and say that this maybe wasn't the best decision, and maybe not enough research was done on my behalf, and I'm really sorry about that. And I'm sorry to the vegans or maybe non-vegans out there that did get offended by this. But what I don't agree with is the full-on just nastiness around it. Yes, I didn't hold my hands up initially at maybe being in the wrong, but I think that was because I honestly hadn't realised it. And obviously looking back now, I realise that it probably wasn't the wisest decision, and it probably wasn't the best decision for the animals to go and fund that place. And I do hold my hands up for that. I really hold my hands up, but I didn't say it as a water park vibe. I think it's like anything. I try my best every single day when I'm making choices on what meals I want to eat, and I always pick the vegan version of a meal. I try my best every single day to be the best I can be for the animals, but that's not perfect, and it's never going to be perfect in a world that we live in and the day and age that we're currently in, and I'm sorry for that. But I just think as well, the people currently jumping on us for every single decision I make when it comes to the veganism side of things, I bet you half of these people aren't even eating a plant-based diet, which then gives me the defensive, well, I'm trying every single day to be the best version for the animals and make these choices, yet you're coming for me for something that I'm just like, are you making all the choices? Are you making the sacrifices every single day when you're deciding what meal to eat? And I will never be this pushy vegan. And, you know, Sean's not vegan. I don't push him to be vegan. I just care deeply, so deeply for the animals. And, you know, I don't want to make food choices that I know I don't have to make. And I want to make better food choices to hopefully be better for the animals in the future. But I'm not perfect, and I probably never will be. In fact, I know I never will be, because who the hell is perfect? But I just think it sometimes gets really difficult. And I know I brought it on myself by bringing the whole I'm vegan online. So maybe that's my fault, and I need to kind of step back away from that and just not really talk about, you know, the veganism as much. But also at the same time, I have a platform and I kind of want to raise awareness for it. So I feel like, yeah, there's a little bit confusion there on my half recently. Another thing that I'm going to talk about going into this, because I have did a TikTok on it as well, but basically it's getting near the end of the year, and at this time of year I feel like it's when most creators will look at their content and their brand deals and their income at this time of year, and it's a really difficult decision. But YouTube just isn't what it used to be, and as much as I love this platform, and I always will, growth on this platform is so hard. I've posted 3 times a week, nearly every single week on this YouTube channel, and I've had absolutely no growth. Now, I'm not sitting here to say that this whole thing for me is about growth, but when you're putting a lot of work and effort into something, you kind of do want to see your numbers go up a little bit. Unfortunately, the thing is short form content is just where it's at these days. And when I look at my brand deals over the last year, nearly every single brand that I've worked with have wanted short form content. They've not wanted the longer form content anymore. It's just not where the money's at. It's not where they're putting their budget to, which as a long form content creator, it makes it really difficult. And it means that, you know, me management and other people in my life have had to have these conversations that unfortunately it's just not worth my time, financial and job wise, to dedicate so much time to YouTube anymore. And TikTok's always been a second hand platform for me, and it's just not going to be that anymore. I am going to have to put more of a focus on TikTok when it comes to my own social media, but also when it comes to the marketing side of Every Frame Counts and that business. And it's a difficult decision to make, but I'm going to, in the new year, drop an upload on YouTube to focus a little bit more on short form. And I know that as the YouTube community obviously watching this video, that will be really disappointing. But unfortunately, you know, I do this as a living nowadays, and I just have to be honest with myself and be honest with what I want in the future and where my goals lie. And I just don't think they're fully achievable on YouTube anymore. I feel a little bit like it's not the platform it used to be. Now, I'm not leaving YouTube. You're still going to get 2 videos a week, which I still think is, you know, a good amount of videos a week. Like, it's still, you know, I'm staying in contact. I'm staying here. I'm not dropping this platform. I love it so much. But it's just time for a little bit of a change. And I feel like I'm seeing so many creators talk about this and do this recently. But I think it's just the realisation of how social media is at the minute and the direction it's going. And if you want to do this as a job, and if you want to stay up to date with things and continuously get to work with brands, then it's a shift that a lot of creators who started on YouTube are having to make, unfortunately. Or fortunately, it might turn out to be a really great decision. Another question was, how much has Every Frame Counts made so far? So if you don't know, Every Frame Counts is my second business that I started up in May of this year, and it's a behind the scenes content creation for people at weddings, events, anything in your life that's going on that you'd like content for. You can hire my business Every Frame Counts, and we can come out and create that content. And I did my final accounts for this business, and it made just under £10,000 in its first 6 months of trading, which is honestly a little bit crazy to me. I never really expected it to make that. Now that was before tax and expenses and everything so that's not the profit and that's not the take home. But I feel like for the first 6 months in business, that's a really good chunk of money, and I'm really proud of that, to be completely honest with you. Now, that business is obviously still operating, and I've got huge plans for it going into 2026, and taking on some freelancers, which is going to be really, really exciting, and it just kind of expands the opportunities for Every Frame Counts and what it can and can't do. We've got some destination weddings lined up next year, and I just think it's going to be a really exciting time for that business, and I'm really excited to see where it goes and where I can take it. And I feel like it's a really good business that I've created, and I'm really proud of it, to be honest with you. But I've always been upfront with financial side of things. It's never something, even being on social media for years, that I've shied away from. So I feel like something that I'm always open to discuss. And if you want to see more and hear more about Every Frame Counts, you can follow on Instagram, TikTok at Every Frame Counts Co, and keep up to date, because I'm always doing little videos on there about the financial side, the behind the scenes and all that of trying to establish and run a business. The next question is, how long do you plan on staying in your house? I'm sorry I'm filming in this background as well. I feel like I never film in the office anymore, just because I feel like it's always that little bit cluttered. But yeah, when it comes to staying in this house, me and Sean bought this house with the intent that it would be a forever home, because to move house is so expensive, especially because the next house we were to buy would be like our second home. There would be so many more costs to it, like stamp duty and just so many things that we didn't have with buying this house. And we got this house at such a good price. So honestly, I feel like we've got plans to stay in this house forever. Obviously, I don't know what the future holds, but we have no intent of, you know, looking to put this house on the market or buying a new house or anything like that. I feel like if we did want to invest some money into a home, we would do it at this house. We would do some, you know, there's little things that would like to change around this house, like maybe an extension or, you know, bits and bobs that we'd probably change in this house if we were going to, rather than move house. But we've got no intentions of moving. We love this home, and I feel like when we were buying this house, we really did see it as our forever home, and that it could be our forever home. Next question is, how is married life and do you feel different? And I feel like this is such an interesting one, because I was always the type of person that said, like, getting married means nothing. It's just a bit of paper that you both sign. And while that is true, like, our life hasn't significantly changed being married, it just kind of feels different to me. Now, I don't know if this is just me, could be the placebo effect, but to me, being a wife feels different. It feels more secure. And even though that's so untrue, because we'd been together for 12 years, we were in a committed, secure relationship, it's just like, I got a husband. It also kind of gives us the ick to say I've got a husband, because I feel like that's always been an older person thing, and I am now that older person that has a husband. And yeah, it's a bit strange. And I feel like with the identity side of it, because that was something that I was worrying about, like changing my identity by changing my name, felt like a huge step for me. It really hasn't hit, because I've not had to use that name much yet. Legal wise, I've still got my legal documents in my maiden name, simply just because it's a whole process. We've been going away quite a lot. I couldn't send my passport off to get changed and stuff. Also, business wise, I've not changed my name on here, you'll notice, and that's simply because I have contracts ongoing with brands where I signed them in Donnelly, and it made it really complicated to then change my name. There would then be contractual issues, so I had a bit of a whole fathom around that. Still getting sorted. I think I'm going to leave my business and social media just under my maiden name. It just seems the easiest option at the moment, contract wise and brand wise and everything else. But maybe in the future it'll change, but I think for now it's going to stay the same. But yeah, being married feels different, and I really like married life. I feel like it's been a good start to the chapter of married life, and I'm always looking back at my wedding photos and my wedding content, and I just had the best wedding day ever. And I wish I could relive it, but it's never going to happen, unfortunately. So I'm just so glad that I had such a large media team to capture it for us. I know that this isn't the most exciting video you're ever going to see in your life, is it? It's just me chatting shit. But I feel like I wanted to answer a few questions, and I also want to address a few things over the last kind of few weeks that I've obviously been on social media and stuff. And I just wanted to sit down and have a chat about them. Yeah, I feel a little bit lost with this platform recently. I don't know where it's going or what is happening, but I'm going to find my feet with it again. I'm going to find a balance going into the new year of posting 2 videos a week and making them work, posting videos that you want to see, and yeah, it's just what it is. But I just thought I'd jump on. I didn't have a video for tonight, to be completely honest with you, and I just wanted to post something, and I thought the best thing to do was just get back to the basics and have a little chat with you. So I'll see you very shortly for another video. It'll probably just be a vlog. I'm thinking of maybe doing a what I eat in a day. I haven't done one of them in a long time, so maybe I'll bring one of them back. But anyway, That's it from me. I hope you are having a great start to December and getting in the festive feels, and I'll see you very shortly for another video. Bye.